Breaking news tonight on ABC 17 News at 5. A woman suspected of stealing lunch money from Mid-Missouri students now faces criminal charges.
Just 20 minutes ago, the Camden County prosecutor filed stealing charges against Cassandra Ann Franklin. ABC 17's Lindsay Henry first brought you the story about the theft investigation on Tuesday.
And she's been watching it unfold over the past couple of days. She joins us live from our Jefferson City newsroom. And Lindsay, what exactly can you tell us about these late-breaking developments?
Well, Dana, we just learned that Cassandra Franklin of Max Creek has been charged with a Class B felony for stealing. Now, Camden County prosecutor Brian Keedy says that between August 1st of 2009 and September 17th of this year, she stole at least $25,000 from the department, from the food service department, of the Camdenton R3 school district. Now, we reported earlier this week that several $100,000 was allegedly missing from the school district. Multiple parents have contacted us stating that their children have been given money for school to bring to lunch, that they would give that money over to Cassandra, and then in a few days later the money would already be empty and their account balance would be down to zero. Now, if Franklin is found guilty, she'll spend at least 5 years in prison, up to 15 years. Live in the Jefferson City newsroom, Lindsay Henry, ABC 17 News.
All right, thank you, Lindsay. We'll continue to update you on this with the latest investigation on our website, abc17news.com, as well as Facebook and Twitter. Well, tonight we are finding out more about a former Mizzou football player, why he was kicked off the team.
Charges are under review tonight against Lawrence Lee after MU police arrested him yesterday for stealing. Tonight we have details on what authorities say Lee took and from whom.
ABC 17's Heather Horrigan has been talking with police and MU students today. And Heather, Lee was reportedly stealing from his fellow classmates.
And allegedly MU athletes as well. MU police tell me between November 10th and 11th, Lee took a Sony laptop from someone's room in South Residence Hall. On the 13th, he reportedly broke into another dorm room and stole a PlayStation 4, a Call of Duty game, and game controllers. On Tuesday, police tell me Lee stole an iPhone 6 from the Mizzou Athletic Training Complex locker room. Lee was arrested on 2 counts of burglary and 1 count of felony stealing.
He stole various items from South Residence Hall to the residents there. In there, he went to their rooms. One, he took a computer. Another, he took a PlayStation 4, a couple games, and game controllers.
Again, last week we told you Lee was kicked off MU's football team. He was a true freshman, one of 5 to get playing time for the SEC East champion Tigers this season. Lee was a receiver who caught 2 passes for 7 yards this year. I did check in with MU's Office of Student Conduct to see what kind of academic punishment Lee could be facing, and I am still waiting to hear back from them.
Thanks, Heather. We'll, of course, let you know when Lee is charged. Well, rain is moving into many areas in mid-Missouri tonight, as well as higher temperatures for tomorrow.
ABC 17 Storm Track meteorologist Jessica Quick is tracking the rain here in your first full complete forecast. Jessica?
Thanks, Jessica. The NAACP's Journey for Justice is running into more counter-protests in mid-Missouri today. Marchers
on a trek from Ferguson to Jefferson City are done for the evening after starting at the Gasconade River about 40 miles east of the capital this morning. They marched through Lynn and Osage County late this morning and ran into residents who took issue with their message. ABC 17's Lindsay Burning met with the group just a few miles west of Lynn today. And Lindsay, what was the encounter like?
Dana and Daniel, earlier today I talked to the NAACP organizers, and they said they didn't meet near as much backlash today in Lynn as they did yesterday, but they still met some people with signs who didn't agree with the group. Now, when I was talking to the marchers today, you can see just as I was turning my camera on, a truck flew by dangerously close to the marchers, honked a horn, and blew a cloud of exhaust. NAACP organizers say the group has been marching about 25 miles a day over about 9 hours and have met many counter-protesters as well as supporters along the way. Cornell William Brooks, the NAACP president and CEO, says they are marching for 2 main reasons.
To address racial profiling and police misconduct, which is a problem not only in Ferguson, not only in Missouri, but across the country. So we're seeking 2 things. First, justice for Michael Brown's family, and secondly, systemic fundamental reform of policing in this country. And so we're marching 130 some odd miles over the course of 7 days.
Mary Ratliff, the NAACP Missouri State Conference president, says a few people from the group woke up early this morning and sprinted ahead to make up time for the rest of the group. She says they intended to have someone walking every step of the way.
The people, we did stop there inland, and the people were, there were a few hecklers across the street, but it was nothing like yesterday. And so we're just marching on, and we're very, very pleased with the diversity of our group here, young, old, black, white, and etc. So everybody is feeling the need, the change that needs to come.
Sheriff Michael Dixon with the Osage County Sheriff's Office says so far the march has gone smoothly and there have been no major problems. Local law enforcement is making sure to accompany the group for the journey, including several deputies from the Osage County Sheriff's Office, Missouri State Highway Patrol's troopers, and officers from the Lynn Police Department.
The Sheriff's Office will continue to travel and escort them to the county line to ensure safe passage and ensure that we don't have any traffic incidents on Highway 50.
Brooks tells me they plan to finish the march here tomorrow in Jefferson City with a rally at the Lewis and Clark Monument Trail Plaza in Jefferson City. Live reporting, Lindsay Burning.
Thank you, Lindsay. The NAACP group says they will be staying at the Quinn Chapel tonight in Jefferson City, and they'll be resuming their march tomorrow at 7 o'clock.
The group is expected to reach Jefferson City by 1 o'clock.
When it comes, as we've seen, unfortunately, in recent days, to our criminal justice system, too many Americans feel deep unfairness.
Tonight, U.S. officials are responding after another police officer was not charged in an unarmed man's death. We told you yesterday a New York City grand jury decided not to indict a police officer who killed Eric Garner in a chokehold.
This comes about 2 weeks after the grand jury in St. Louis decided against charging Officer Darren Wilson in Michael Brown's death. As protests in Ferguson begin to calm, St. Louis officials are considering creating a civilian police oversight board.
The proposal calls for 7 city residents appointed by Mayor Francis Slay and the Board of Aldermen to serve on the board to review misconduct complaints against officers. And tonight, a St. Louis Rams player says he's getting death threats for making the hands up, don't shoot gesture at last week's game. Jared Cook and 4 other players made the gesture adopted by protesters in support of Michael Brown.
The St. Louis Police Officers Association is calling the gesture offensive and wants the NFL to punish the players. Cook says he does not regret making the gesture.
And a St. Louis man is being investigated after police say he drove a minivan through a crowd protesting for Eric Garner. It happened last night after the grand jury decision not to charge the New York City officer, Daniel Pantaleo. The 57-year-old minivan driver told police protesters surrounded his car, breaking a rear window. He says he tried to drive around and then he hit 2 men. Police say he was also waving a gun. The men refused medical treatment.
Looking at news around Missouri tonight, right now we're waiting on a report for a plane crash near Boonville. Officials with the National Transportation Safety Board tell us that should come in sometime next week. Investigators were on the scene a few days ago. The plane went down last Sunday near Boonville's airport just after takeoff. Pilot Charles Soika was killed and 3 other people were injured. They were all sent to University Hospital.
Tonight, 2 students and an adult are recovering after a St. Louis elementary school had a carbon monoxide leak. Earl Nance Elementary School was evacuated this morning. Fire officials say several students reported feeling ill or lightheaded. Classes were moved to a nearby church for the rest of the day while crews ventilated that school. Right now, Ameren, Missouri officials are investigating a situation that led to them shutting down the nuclear plant near Fulton. The utility company and the federal regulators say there is no risk to the public and that an unexpected main turbine trip caused the shutdown. It's still unclear when the plant will start generating electricity again, but customers will not be affected.
Coming up on ABC 17 News at 5, where the news comes first.
Just hours ago, House Republicans passed a bill against the president's executive order on immigration. Find out how this will affect the new policy.
Plus, another Ebola patient is being monitored in Atlanta. Hear where the patient may have been infected next.
And coming up, all new on ABC 17 News at 6 o'clock tonight, after the NAACP March puts the state capitol on high alert. Now we're talking to business owners in Jefferson City to find out if they're doing anything different tomorrow. We'll have the response at 6.
Looking at news around America tonight, this afternoon, House Republicans passed a bill opposing President Obama's executive actions on immigration.
The legislation, which passed 219 to 197, would undo the measures the president announced last month. The order would extend work permits and protect over 4 million immigrants who are in the country illegally. All members acknowledge the vote was mostly symbolic since the bill stands no chance in the Senate.
Right now, another possible Ebola patient is being treated in the U.S. Emory University Hospital in Atlanta says the patient is an American healthcare worker who may have been exposed to the virus in West Africa. This comes a day after the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention named Emory one of about 36 U.S. hospitals designated for Ebola treatment. The hospital has successfully treated 4 Ebola patients.
My name is Luke Summers. I'm 33 years old. I was born in England, but I carry American citizenship and have lived in America for most of my life.
Al-Qaeda terrorists have released a new video showing U.S. hostages, or a U.S. hostage, Luke Summers. The photojournalist was kidnapped in Yemen back in September of 2013. Last month, U.S. Special Forces and Yemeni forces freed 8 hostages, but kidnappers still got away with some Westerners, including Summers. In the video, Summers says he knows his life is in danger and is looking for help. An Al-Qaeda representative warns that Summers will die if the U.S. doesn't respond to the group's demands in 3 days.
Well, rain is moving in overnight. I'll let you know how much we can expect. Plus, temperatures will be dropping for the weekend. I'll be breaking down that forecast day by day after the break.
Tonight, fast food workers all over the nation are on strike.
Hundreds of workers picketed today, hoping to see their wages increased to $15 an hour, plus better union rights. In Chicago, workers took to the street just days after the city council approved a measure to gradually increase minimum wage to $13 an hour by 2019. Strikes are expected in over 100 cities across America.
New numbers show the average cost of child care in some states is more than college tuition. The report says child care takes up a quarter of the median income of single parents. For families at the poverty line, 85% of their income will go to care. Parents in Massachusetts are spending the most on child care at over $16,000 a year. That's the best bargain in Louisiana, though, where costs 7% of the median income.
Jessica will have your forecast next.
Doesn't look too bad for December.
Yeah, pretty mild.
Nothing in the teens.
Mild. I can't complain about that.
As long as there are no single digits, we're good to go. All right. That does it for us at 5. We'll see you back for ABC 17 News at 6. World News with David Muir is next.
Have a great night.